Hey guys, it's Danielle over at DIYDanielle.com, and today we're going to be making some simple aprons. These are really easy to make and they're a lot of fun, and I think they're a really useful gift. Now, I know aprons are sort of old-fashioned. They're something that a lot of people don't use anymore. And I remember when I first started seeing some aprons, like, why would anyone want one of these? And, you know, you take back your words later on. Yeah, that's where I'm at. So, aprons were used by women and probably men doing certain jobs. Like, I know like farriers still use aprons quite a bit. A different type of apron, but it's sort of thick one. And they're used to protect your clothes. Now, I know these days we sort of, I mean, clothes are cheap. We kind of just dispose of them. They're not as good quality, but realistically, we really should be taking better care of our clothes. That's part of saving the environment, is not going through resources and just buying and throwing and buying and throwing things away. So the idea is to save your clothing. And one of the reasons people did this is back in the day, they didn't wash their clothes every time they wore something. So if they wore a dress, they would wear that dress the next day and the next day and the next day, and then maybe they might wash once a week. I don't know how often they washed, but it wasn't as frequently as we do. And the reality is that washing our clothing actually creates quite a bit of wear and tear on them, especially if we're using a cycle that uses a lot of, does a lot of spinning, and certain types of washing machines, certain types of detergents can create even more wear on your clothes. So if you love your clothes, your best option is to try to keep them clean and wash them less frequently. So in an effort to be a little more eco-friendly, I've been trying to be cognizant of how often I wash my clothing. So if I wear a pair of jeans and it's clean, I save it for the next day. I have a smell test. It's really weird. My husband probably walks in on me like, sorry honey, I'm not really being this gross. I need to know if it's clean. So I look for things like stains and food that my kids spill on it or drool on me. But overall, I try to keep my clothes a little bit cleaner and try to be careful about covering up when I'm doing something that might be messy. For example, if I'm cooking, if I'm doing woodworking, painting, of course, because I don't need an extra set of painting clothes. What I need is I need something to cover up my good clothing so that it doesn't get ruined when I do things like paint. Now, I do still wear less awesome clothes when I'm painting because I tend to get paint everywhere. But for things like, you know, cooking, I do try to make sure I wear an apron now to protect my clothing, give it a little bit longer life, and yeah, that's it. And also, aprons have pockets, and pockets are awesome. For supplies, you are going to need some fabric. You're going to need a pretty decent cut because this has got to be something that covers you from here to, you know, lower on your body. You are going to need your sewing machine, of course, and you really don't need anything else. We're going to make our straps out of fabric and add some pockets. So the first thing I'm starting with today is I'm starting with an apron that I already have, which actually was copied from another apron that I already have. So you need some sort of pattern. If you don't already own an apron to copy from, you could just probably find an easy apron pattern online. Alrighty, I'm going to make a little pattern actually. You know what? I will make this pattern and I will put it up on my blog for subscribers. So make sure to check that out because you'll be able to just download it. I'm just going to go and fix it up. Okay guys, so I made my pattern. La la la. Yep. This edge, sorry, I'm going to tilt it here. This edge on this side, right here, is actually for the fold. So you're going to place the fold of your fabric there. If you've ever cut a pattern, you should probably understand this. I don't know if I really need to go over this. And we have our apron cut out. Now we need to cut out some straps and we need to cut out some pockets. I'm going to use some coordinating fabric for that. because I don't want to do the same thing because it's going to look way too busy. I will put the measurements for the straps and the pockets up on my blog, and it'll be a little easier for you to just cut them out that way. So here's I have my fabric cut out here. I actually had to sew 2 pieces together, so I have 2 short straps for around the neck. I have 2 pockets. These are actually some coordinating fabric that I ironed right sides together. We're going to sew them to make our pocket, and then we'll sew them onto the apron. And I have a really long strap here. I cut a fabric for a long strap, and that is going to be for around the waist. Now I'm going to take you over to the sewing machine, and I'm going to show you how I'm going to sew these. Okay, so the first thing that I'm going to sew is I'm going to sew the seams on my apron. So this is cut out. I mean, there's not a lot of sewing to this particular project, but we need to finish the seams because the fabric will fray if we don't. And you're aware of this if you sew a lot, but I know not everyone that's watching this might be aware. So to make our seam, we're going to fold over once, and then we're going to fold over again to create a nice finished look. You could also just serge this and then turn it, but it depends on how you want to do this. I am not going to pull out my serger today because I want to show you guys how to do it the way you're probably going to be doing it if you don't want a serger. Okay, now that I finished my edges all the way around my apron, I'm going to make my strap and add that to my apron. So for my strap, I'm actually going to serge it because it's faster. You may want to use your sewing machine. If so, you're going to turn your straps right sides together. You'll sew all the way around 3 sides, then you'll turn it right sides out, iron it down, and then top stitch. I am not doing that because that is very time consuming and really hard with such a long strap. This is huge. I like to make a long strap because I have a little bit more freedom for when I gain the 1,000 pounds I'm going to gain eating food this holiday season. No, I'm just kidding. You can also just use ribbon too. We're going to sew our strap on. We're going to find the middle point on our strap. And we know that's got to go right in the middle of our apron. I'm just going to pin them on real quick, just in a couple spots, and then I'm going to top stitch this on. And I will stitch, straight stitch. Okay, so that's attached now, and we're going to work on our pockets. Pockets are pretty simple. We're actually just going to sew around this, leaving a small area to turn and top stitch. Okay, and for each pocket, I'm just going to trim these corners. Guys, so there's the pocket. We're going to iron that down. We're going to make the other pocket too, of course. And then we will sew along one side. We're going to leave the other 3 sides open, and those will get sewed down when we add them onto our apron. We're going to pin the pockets on so that we can sew them on. There we go. They're pinned. I'm going to sew around 3 sides of them. Oh, as you can see. There they are. They're pinned onto my apron. I'm going to go zip around them with the sewing machine. Okay guys, so the last part we're going to do is we're going to add our neck straps. And I already finished my neck straps just like I did my waist. And I'm going to go to the top of my apron, and I'm going to find where I want to put it on. I am going to put it right here. And I'm going to put it on the outside. It's a little bit sloppier that way, but I think that's the look I want to go with. And I'm just going to sew a little X here. Okay, and for this next strap, that's all we do. And this will hang loose so that they can tie it behind their neck. Oops. And then this one we're going to do the same thing for. And we're just going to match it up, just like we did with the other one. We don't want it to look wonky. Hey guys, we are finished. Here is our apron. Hope you guys can see it okay. That was all there was to it. It's a pretty easy project. I hope you guys do it yourselves. And if you do, put it on the show and tell page. And don't forget to subscribe. We've got 30 days of projects and we've got lots more coming. So I hope to see you again tomorrow. Thanks so much. Take care. Bye.